In the land of Dimlight Hollow, where the skies were perpetually overcast and the vibes were immaculate, if a bit bleak, there lived a 28-year-old named Elias who had perfected the art of existential scrolling. Each day, he donned his eternal black hoodie, because color is for people with ambition, and ventured no further than his tiny moss-covered cottage. Elias had a consistent routine. Wake up, check the crystal orb, which ran on a magic algorithm that predicted existential doom 98% of the time, brew his potion of caffeinated despair, and spend hours contemplating the meaning of it all. On good days, he fed his pet crow, Morgan, who squawked suspiciously like a Reddit mod. On bad days, he opened his window, stared into the enchanted forest, and whispered, "Bro, what's the point of all this?" But tonight wasn't just any night. The stars above Dimlight Hollow, normally dim and kind of meh, had aligned into a shape resembling a Wi-Fi signal. Even the moon, with its ever-judgy glare, seemed less harsh. Something was about to happen. Something magical. As Elias scrolled the orb, debating whether to throw himself into a rabbit hole about magic-based economics, a knock echoed through his cottage. A knock. At 11:59 p.m. This was either a tax-collecting wizard or something worse, like human interaction. "Who's there?" Elias asked, peeking through his curtain made of tattered flannel. Outside stood a figure wearing an equally eternal black cloak, a glowing staff in one hand and a bag of snacks in the other. "It is I, the Wizard of Comfortable Chaos." The figure boomed in a voice that somehow sounded like Morgan Freeman narrating a YouTube essay. "I have come with answers, snacks, and memes." Elias hesitated, but eventually opened the door, mostly because the snacks looked vaguely Dorito-esque. Up close, the wizard's face was a mix of chaotic wisdom and 2 a.m. shit-posting energy. His beard sparkled with tiny fairy lights, and his cloak had patches like NPC Energy and "I Survived 2024. "I bring you a quest," said the wizard, handing Elias a glowing parchment. "Also, these enchanted nachos slap. You want one?" Elias ignored the nachos, for now, and unrolled the scroll. The text glowed like the blue light of doom scrolling at 3 a.m. "Greetings, Doomer of Dimlight Hollow. Congratulations, you have been selected by the Astral algorithm for a quest. Your existential vibes have resonated across the multiverse, and now you must travel to the Astral Cafe at the edge of reality. There, the answers to your most haunting questions await. P.S. The snacks are free." At the bottom of the scroll, someone had scribbled in chaotic handwriting, "This isn't a pyramid scheme, we swear." Elias raised an eyebrow. "This feels like a scam." The wizard grinned. "Aren't we all part of one big cosmic MLM, my dude?" "Fair point." With Morrigan perched on his shoulder and the wizard tagging along like an uninvited party guest, Elias set off. The journey was surprisingly chill. The path to the Astral Cafe wound through places that felt oddly familiar yet dreamlike, like wandering into a childhood memory but with better lighting. They passed the forest of forgotten passwords, where ancient oaks whispered things like, "Try your pet's name with a capital letter and a 3. Elias waved at the procrastinating gnomes of Deadline Glade, who were halfway through constructing a bridge they started 17 years ago. At one point, Morgan squawked, "Caw, late-stage capitalism," which Elias felt was unhelpful but not inaccurate. By the time they reached the Astral Cafe, Elias was 50% sure this was either a fever dream or a side quest he didn't sign up for. The cafe glowed softly, perched on the edge of an infinite void. Inside, the smell of cinnamon and serotonin hung in the air. A neon sign flickered, All who enter deserve a break. The barista at the Astral Cafe was a sentient marshmallow named Crumpet, who wore a tiny bow tie. Crumpet greeted Elias with a warm, gooey smile. "Welcome, weary traveler. Would you like a peppermint latte of inner peace or a pumpkin spice potion of mild clarity?" I'll take the clarity," Elias mumbled, still not over the fact that his barista was literal food. "Also, why am I here?" Crumpet nodded sagely. "Classic doomer question. Let me show you something." The marshmallow floated over to a wall covered in glowing Polaroids. Each photo pulsed faintly, as if alive. "These," Crumpet explained, "are snapshots of moments where people felt like it was all worth it, even for a second." Elias squinted. The photos were weirdly wholesome. A knight laughing while covered in dragon slime, a goblin hugging their pet ferret, someone drinking hot cocoa under a blanket while a thunderstorm raged outside. "Cool, but what does this have to do with me?" Elias asked. "Your life isn't a single grand narrative," Crumpet replied, handing Elias his latte. "It's a series of small, dumb, beautiful moments. Stop looking for the point. Focus on collecting moments that make the void a little less scary." As Elias sat sipping his latte, the wizard of comfortable chaos leaned over. "Listen, bro. Life's like one of those cursed memes. It's absurd, kind of broken, but occasionally hilarious. The magic is in finding humor in the nonsense." Morrigan chimed in, "Caw, cope and vibe." Elias stared into his latte, watching the foam swirl into a spiral galaxy. For the first time in a long time, he didn't feel the weight of figuring it all out. Maybe the void wasn't something to conquer. Maybe it was just there, like background music. And maybe that was okay. When Elias returned to Dimlight Hollow, things were the same but different. The skies were still gray, the cottage still small, but the vibe had shifted. He started noticing the tiny, good things. The way his crow fluffed her feathers after a nap, the smell of his morning coffee, the absurdity of his wizard friend who now crashed on his couch. One evening, as he sat under the same overcast sky, Elias whispered to the void, "All right, you win, but you're kind of funny sometimes." And for a moment, the stars seemed to wink back. The end, or maybe just the beginning.